Hello, my name is Gail Seiler, and I'm with the Former Feds Freedom Foundation. We can be found at formerfedsgroup.org. With me today is Renata, who is going to share her story about what happened to her husband in an American hospital regarding the COVID protocols. If you would like to see this interview or any other, they can be found on our website under the COVID-19 Humanity Betrayal Memory Project at chbmp.org, as well as on Rumble and BitChute under American Granddaughter. If you have a story to tell, you can submit your story and schedule an interview just like this one at chbmp.org. If you are a whistleblower in any of these facilities, you can contact our whistleblower program at FDA Death Protocol at formerfedsgroup.org. And if you are an attorney, that one of the few attorneys that are willing to help victims of these protocols, also reach out to our Changemakers Attorneys Program at FDA Death Protocol at formerfedsgroup.org. Thank you for being willing to tell your husband's story, Renata. Tell us a little bit about who your husband was and what happened to him in the hospital.
Okay, my husband, we met very young, and my husband went to Vietnam, and he came back. We got married. He was a wonderful person. I have to say that when he was in Vietnam, he came back with Purple Heart and different honors. And he always was a very dedicated person, very honest, and very good person. He was a good father. He was a good husband, a good provider. He was a great person. And he was working in the post office for 42 years. And he never was actually sick, anything like that. He never was in the hospital, anything, this kind of any serious sickness. In that was December 21st, 2020, 21st. That was the 5th, 2021. He got sick, and he just didn't feel good. He had fever and he was coughing. So that was on Sunday. Monday, December 6th, I called his doctor and I explained to him what happened. And he said, "Don't come to the office, go to urgent care, because urgent care, I don't want anybody come to the office in case he's COVID." So when we went to urgent care, he positively had COVID. So they suggested that he should go to the hospital. This is Jefferson Thursday Hospital. It was not too far from the urgent care. So he drove to the to the hospital. He was waiting like 17 hours before they admitted him. And then first thing when they asked him if he was vaccinated, he said, "No, I was not." And then everything started. The first week in the hospital, he felt better, like his cough was better and his fever went down. And then he was asking doctor if he will be able to come home for Christmas. And they said, if you go home, you're gonna end up on a wheelchair, and you're not gonna feel good. But that time, the first week, he was walking, he was talking. I have no problem talking to him on cell phone. He has a big hope coming home. The second week, when he was in the hospital, he felt a little bit weaker, and I could hear his voice wasn't the same. But he still was working, and he had hope to come home. So, and I tried to call every day hospital. Every day when I called, that was different nurse, different doctor, and everybody was very weak. And I was very concerned because they still was calling out. I get the same thing. He's fine. And I was asking, how can be fine? Like his voice is so weak and he doesn't feel good. He feels worse. The third week than the first week. I mean, first week he still was walking, talking. And then the end of third week, when I go on Sunday, that was Dr. Dr.
Neary? Was that Neary?
Neary. I did find out on the end that there was prime doctor. His doctor, Neary was taking care of him. But the other doctor told me that he has to go to second floor. That I was very concerned. Why did they want to move him to second floor? They told me that they're going to move him to second floor because they have to observe him better. So I said, so what can you observe him better? And that was on Sunday. And they moved him on Monday. And Tuesday, I got a phone call from the hospital, which Dr. Nori called me. And she said that they're going to put him on a light support. So I was in shock because all the time when I was talking to them, he was fine. So I said, don't touch my husband until I get to the hospital. And my son at that time was near me, and we went to the hospital. And that's what everything started. And I was asking, first time when I went to the room, talking to my husband, he was just laying there without no strength. He couldn't move from the bed. And he told us that he's dying. So I was starting panicking. And I started asking questions to Dr. Nari and everybody else. And my son was asked the other doctor who's supposed to give my husband a life support procedure. He asked him, is that going to get him better or whatever? No, he told him that this is 100, this is not going to get him better. This is like 100 more mortality rate after they put the life support and things like that. So we turned to Dr. Nori. We said, why would you do this? Why did you do this to my husband if you know this is not going to get him better? And she got very frustrated. She got very mad. And we asked her if maybe she can give him hydrochloric with that Z-Pack or ivermectin. And she said, this doesn't work. This absolutely doesn't work. Okay. So she didn't want to answer any questions. We were asking other questions. And she turned around and she said to her nurses, call police because they have to be escorted from the hospital. So, and my son got very upset and he said that he would tell the nurse to call ethic board instead of the police. And the doctors disappeared. Everybody disappeared from outside the room. And then we requested that we would like to have on the doctor. And we waited up 1 hour, and Dr. Ogden came, and he took us to another room and the waiting room, and we'll discuss with him certain things. But when he came, he brought us a pack of list of protocols which they have it in the hospital. And with the main thing was remdesivir. So there was like this remdesivir they given to patients in that hospital for 5 days. If they have to stay longer, they're gonna give them to the end of the stay in the hospital. So we did find out he was getting remdesivir through the whole thing staying in the hospital because he was a strong man. He never was sick in the hospital. And how, when I saw him, he was just, he couldn't walk, he couldn't talk. He was just like, completely weak. And what bothers me the most, that I couldn't ask any questions. They don't want to answer any questions. And they, without our consent and my husband, they didn't explain to my husband what they're going to give it to him, what side effects. They didn't explain to me, which I call every single day. They never explained to me what he's on and what kind of medication and what the side effects, anything like that. That was such an ignored thing. So I was just didn't know what to do. But Dr. Ogden, she told us that he's going to take care of him. But that was end of the week. And going backwards, on Thursday, when I saw my husband, because I saw him first time Tuesday, then Thursday. And Thursday, when I saw my husband, he was complaining about right side, that he had terrible pain on the right side. And nobody really took care of this until I learned on Monday. Monday, that was the day he passed away. They told me that his lung collapsed. So that was on Thursday. He was complaining. So it was Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday. I was at the hospital every single day. And they were so mad that I'm coming to the hospital. I mean, he didn't have COVID at that time. He was just the side effects, I believe, after all the medication he was getting in the hospital. And when I came on Sunday, he was sleeping very much. I couldn't even talk to him. And I said, what medication you got today? They told me they give him morphine, and he was sleeping whole day. So I was 2 or 3 times. Then I came on Monday. I thought, and there was the same thing. He was sleeping whole day. And finally, they told me to wait. Okay, they're gonna move him to another room. That was on Monday. That was January 3rd, 2022. That they move him to another room, so I'll be able to see him. So they didn't let me to see him, but I waited in another room. And what happened, they came, I was like 3.5 hours waiting for them to come to pick me up so I can see him. And when they came, it was 10:30 at night. And they told me that he died. And I was in shock. And then I said, please take me to whatever. And they took me to the room, which was laying on the, that wasn't even bed. That was something like table, something, was no oxygen, nothing. He was just laying with the hands down and everything else. And they were all standing me. They were all watching me. My reaction, of course, my reaction was horrible. And I know he wasn't nourished. He wasn't groomed like he's supposed to be, because every couple of days when I got left to see him, from Tuesday to Monday, that he never got food. He never got water. I brought him banana. I brought him drinks to drink. That was on the table. They just like ignore everything. So I felt that my husband truly was murdered in that hospital, because there's no other words I can say what happened to him. That was not explained to me. That was not explained to my husband what they're gonna give it to him. And calling me every single day, and nothing that was fine, and lying to me. They took him from the 3rd floor to 2nd floor, that that's gonna observe him, not telling me the truth what happened to my husband. This is unthinkable. This is like I cannot imagine what they're doing in the hospitals these days, actually. And that was 42 years. it's a long time, and he never sick. He got really great record working at hospital. He never took off, never did everything. And even his friends, all the time,
You're breaking up.
or anytime somebody got sick or something like that, it's always hospital. And they were shocked that he passed away because it's no other. Okay. So Andrzej, I feel like my husband Andrzej served and protected his country. Unfortunately, his country didn't protect him. That's what I feel. That he was murdered in Jefferson Hospital. That's what I feel about the whole thing, and that's all I can tell.
So, thank you for that, Renata. That was a very detailed story. So let me ask a couple questions. So, the first question I was going to ask is, do you think that they treated him differently because of his vaccination status?
Um, I feel they probably did, because why did they ask him? The first thing they asked him when they asked him, we didn't think too much about it. But after think, why did people? Doesn't matter if they will have vaccine or not. For any reason, they should be treated the same way. Not because you were vaccinated. The question really later on, when I was thinking, I said, that's strange. They ask him question like that. First thing, when they were admitting him. So now I'm thinking he was treated differently,
Yeah.
but
Do you think that the doctors themselves, or anyone in the people in the hospital, do you think that they kind of gaslit him in terms of making him think he was sicker than he was in order so that he would agree to certain treatments like remdesivir?
I do think he did agree with it because he didn't know what remdesivir is.
Sure.
They didn't explain to him. Like I call every single day, and I said, how's my husband? What the treatment? They never explained to me. I don't think, because my husband never was in the hospital, because I never was in the hospital. We didn't know what's going on in the hospital. We didn't know what the remdesivir is that time. And I don't think he agreed. I don't think he asked about different medication, and he asked them, and they didn't. They said they're gonna order monoclonal antibodies. When he got to the hospital, he asked them for it, and they said they're gonna order, but they lied to him. They never did. So on the end, I found out that he was on remdesivir all the time.
The entire time. So do you know how many doses he got of remdesivir?
I'm not sure. Yes, I don't know. But I know they said the protocol was, when I was reading, that Dr. Ogden brought to me, that was 5 days when you're in the hospital. And if you're staying longer in the hospital, that's going to be to the end. So I when I was reading that, then I learned about remdesivir. Then I knew that he was all the time on remdesivir.
Okay. And when the nurse said that they were going to call the police,
That wasn't me. That was the Dr. Nora.
The doctor.
Okay.
Nora. And did the police actually come out?
No, because my son told them he's gonna call. My son told the nurse, call ethic board. He said, don't call police, call ethic board, and they all disappear. He said that they all just went different directions. Then I asked nurse about different doctor. Can I talk to somebody else?
And that's when you got and you got a different doctor. Okay. Um. So my
Said doctor, no, because I couldn't get anything from her. She was very frustrated.
Yeah.
She didn't have any questions about my pregnancy. So that was just it started with that doctor who was, and I find out about that she was taking care of him. First thing he came to the hospital to the end, you know, and he lost that doctor until a couple of days. I'm asking for different doctor, but that was through the end, a couple of days.
And most of the time you were not allowed to see your husband, correct?
No, for 3 weeks until they call me. They're gonna put him on support. For the last couple of days, I saw him when he already couldn't get up from the bed. So one more thing I forgot to tell you, that when I talked to Dr. Ogden, I told him that we can do this. Was new law that was right to try. Right. So I found out that it's a one medication which some people who was on the condition like my husband was taking this right to try drug, which was named, I could spell it for you because it's Lauren Lime. And this medication helped quite a few people with the condition like my husband. So they first of all, they give us hard time that everybody has to sign it, this and that. Finally, Dr. Ogden agreed that he got permission that ordered this. So this is supposed to come Tuesday morning, and Monday night my husband died. He couldn't have a chance to even try this because they give us such a hard time for a couple of days to get this medication. So this whole story is just nightmare for me, Well, there's a short period of time when I saw my husband a couple of days, and I'm glad I saw him because some people even didn't have a chance to see him. And I go to support group, and in my church, some people didn't have a chance to even see loved ones. They just called them, they died. So I can tell the story, what I saw, and that's really dramatic. And I can believe it that in hospitals, they don't inform family what happened. They don't inform what they give it to them. They don't inform patients. My husband, pretty intelligent person, they didn't talk him side effects. They didn't talk him anything. They just told him that they're going to order, and he was sure they're going to order what he asked for, and they did. On the end, I find out they never did. So,
yeah. So now it's going on it's going to be 2 years soon.
January 3rd. Yes.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about the impact that this has had on your life?
It was horrendous. I mean, I've been married 51 years. I have great marriage. And, Gail, if somebody is sick, then you prepare that person have cancer or something. They might die. You still take very hard any death. But this is like murder in the hospital. This is different. This is actually, this is terrible thing, And not only my husband, but I feel terrible for other people also, And how they can do that, My husband was paying all the insurance and everything in case all the person will go to the hospital. So he's covered with the hospital, with everything. On the end, he was paying because he has good insurance. That was more than, they took over. I don't know what happened. It's just I felt that way. And it's to me, I have my days. I'm not the same anymore. My son either. We were a very close family, And this is like somebody murder, my husband, his father, you know, it's unthinkable. Another thing is that really in Philadelphia, I tried to get a couple lawyers to listen to story, and none of them, because somebody told me they were to pay for fines or something, pharmaceutical. I don't know what happened, but nobody wants to touch this. And this is murder in the hospital. That's what I feel, you know? That's what I feel.
Yeah, that's why I would really encourage any lawyers that have the courage to take on these cases to contact us, because there's so many people with these stories that are the same circumstances. What would you, is there any, I guess, any advice or any final things that you would want people to know who may be facing this right now or have a story similar to yours?
But the people who are similar started like me should go forward, because we could not allow for this continue to killing people in the hospitals. This is murder. I mean, this is a, we have to do something. Even my husbands are coming back, but protect other people, younger people, older people. I mean, people these days, I don't know, I'll be afraid to go to the hospital or anything, because how can you trust doctors if they acting like that? I mean, I felt that doctor finished medical school. I have few doctors in my family. They actually, on the end, they promise to help people, not kill people, not murder people in the hospitals. This is something to me that was something unthinkable. You know, I thought my husband's gonna get better. He's gonna come for Christmas. He told me that his fever is better. He's coughing less. So I thought he's home. Not they're scaring him that he's gonna be on wheelchair. That he, all different kind of stuff. This is, when you don't feel good and you hear things like that, you trust doctors, and what happened, especially when he didn't have any experience like hospital experience. So I think anybody should go forward with this story, because this got to be stopped. It's got to be, I know it's not going to be easy, but this got to be stopped. There's too many people die. They shouldn't die.
And it's still happening, so people need to come forward.
They still have the same protocols they used to have for all these years. Because I talked to one nurse and she told me they still have the same protocols, which really blew my mind.
I know. Here we are, November of 2023, and they're still using the same protocols. We still get calls from people trying to save their loved ones from hospitals. So yes, it's still happening, and people need to come forward. The whistleblowers need to come forward. Attorneys need to come forward. And it's one of the reasons we partnered with some attorneys who filed a lawsuit against Gilead, who makes remdesivir, for fraud. So we need more people with courage to come forward. So well, I thank you for telling your husband's story and being his voice. I know that it's hard, and it takes a lot of moral courage to come forward and talk about these things. And so I very much appreciate it.
Thank you. Gail, I would feel guilty if I didn't share the story and then maybe save other people's life. I really feel guilty, because that was what I experienced in a couple of days, less of his life. That's unthinkable. That blew my mind. That is happening in the hospitals, especially in this country. Because in other countries, like communist countries, something, but not in this country.
I know that's what shocks a lot of people, I think, is the fact that it's happening in hospitals on American soil. And so,
especially that people, I'm sorry, especially I didn't ask him that. Maybe it was very important how many years he was working and how many he fought for this country. Now they're asking about vaccine, and that was the most important thing. This is like crazy.
Right. And your vaccine status has nothing to do with the treatment, right? It has nothing to do with how you would treat the same, pneumonia is pneumonia and a virus is a virus. And regardless of vaccine status, the treatment is the treatment. And so the ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine that is saving lives all over the place, they know that it works. They knew it works by then. And they knew it was very effective in 2020, mid-year 2020. So they definitely knew by December of 2021. So
yeah, and they told me this doesn't work. That's what's very sad about it. This doesn't work. Yeah,
that is very sad because they lied. Well, thank you for telling the story. Please don't hang up. I'm going to stop the recording and then we'll talk.
okay, thank you.